When I tell y'all life be lifing, y'all. Gee, did you know you had duty? Me? I got duty. Listen, y'all, I done enrolled in the USR class at Fort Liberty like 10 times. I'm pretty sure the civilians over there are like, you know what? At this point, she can't come. My expectations are so high. Chief, your expectations are just too high. You need to tone it down a little bit. Like, granted, you have all of this knowledge, but listen, you doing the most. Yo, I be waking up sometimes, and I just be like, should I go to work today? Huh? Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amelia Danielle. You can call me Amelia or you can call me D. But if you see me located at Fort Liberty, formerly known as Fort Bragg, make sure you speak. Say, what's up, Chief? Good morning, Chief. How you doing, Chief? Check on me, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you salute. I know my little dot is really tiny. And honestly, it don't even bother me if y'all don't salute, but at least speak. Because a lot of soldiers will be like, oh, I seen you. Like, they'll DM me and be like, hey, Chief, I seen you over here. Why you ain't speak? Why you ain't speak? But we're gonna go ahead and get started with this video. But before I do, y'all make sure y'all click on that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you will not miss out on a video. My niche is like all over the place, y'all. When I say I talk about military things, my life in general, it's just all over. So I don't really have a niche. But if you want to follow me on my IG is AmeliaG5587. My TikTok is Amelia Danielle. My YouTube, of course, is Amelia Talks 123. I'm on Threads. I'm on Facebook. And so if y'all want to follow all of that, cool. I also just got approved for an LTK account, which I will link down below. And I am an Amazon influencer. And so I basically promote Amazon things. Of course, I have to purchase those things and then I promote them and I earn a small commission. And so some of the links that you click on are affiliate links, which means I may earn a small commission. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's video. I'm going to try to keep it short because I have notes, and that's the reason why I have the notes, so I can keep it short. But when I tell y'all life be lifing, y'all, like, I just don't understand. I just be like, what is going on? All right, y'all, so we're going ahead and get started with today's video. I have all of my notes because I want to stay on track. And if you do not have those captions turned on, turn on your captions because I talk fast. I am from South Carolina and I want to get through this video. I don't want to waste your time, my time. I'm actually getting ready to go to work. It is currently 7:22, and so I'm gonna try to make this video, you know, as short as possible, but I want y'all to make sure y'all watch the entire thing. So if you have any questions, make sure you comment them down below and I will get to you as soon as I can. But I have my cell phone here with all of the notes that I want to talk about in regards to life as a warrant officer, 920 Alpha, or just life as a warrant officer in general, because some of these things will pertain to you as far as like being a warrant officer. All right, so we done got walks out the way, 5 weeks. We done went to WOBC, however long your WOBC was. My WOBC was like 8 weeks. I know for like the Signal branch, y'all, WOBC is like a year. If you're an Intel, I think y'all's are almost a year, but it just depends. And so just prepare yourself. Some of the WOBCs are like basically TDY moves, but just know, like, in the back of your mind, because you will get your RFO orders on where you need to go, that you need to start planning ahead. Even if your school, like your WOBC is, you know, 6 months to a year or however long it is, you know, ahead, go and start planning. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with the topics. The topics will be in processing, your PBO changeover, utilizing your PBO NCO if you have one, and if you don't have one, trying to get or asking for assistance from the S4/G4 and all of the clerks that work in that section, and then knowing your regulations, TDY and self-development, and systems and processes that work. So the systems and processes that work will be a part 2 video because, again, I'm trying to keep it short. I want to make sure y'all are understanding what I'm saying in regards to this video. So this is the part 1, and then I'm going to do a part 2. So let's go ahead and get into it. In processing, make sure that regardless of how long you was in WOBC, when you get to your unit, because you already know where you're going, your branch manager already sent you your RFO, you was in WOBC and you changed duty locations or whatever. So when you first get to your duty station, and it was different for me because I was an interpost transfer. I went from SFAB to 18th FA to 3 ESC. And so I didn't get to take permissive TDY, but I still had to in process, right? And so the first thing that I have on here in my notes is make sure you take your permissive TDY. You will not get a chance to take your permissive Y later, right? And so if y'all don't know, in regards to like USR, personnel, and equipment, everybody knows that you are coming to the unit. Everybody knows that they have been looking and wanting you for the longest because your replacement is about to go, or either your replacement already left and there is a gap in regards to you all changing over, switching out, or whatever the case. Even if that is the case, make sure you still take your permissive Y. Don't show up at the unit, try to end process, and then be like, well, don't even end process. Take your permissive TDY as soon as you sign in, because as soon as you sign in, everybody is going to know that you are there. They're going to want you to meet your replacement. If your replacement is not there, they're just going to want you to go ahead and meet all of the staff and all of that. And at that point, it's just like they're going to be asking you like, well, oh, have you found a place? Make sure you always say no. No, I have not found a place. I actually want to take my permissive TDY. And sometimes you end up having a permissive TDY as a part of your leave. And so once you get to the organization, it'll already be captured on, or basically in IPSA. And so I cannot say this enough. Make sure you take a permissive TDY, because if you do not, you can end process and then you can, you know, meet everybody and all of that, and then on the back end be like, hey, I want to take my permissive TDY. I still ain't found a place. I need to look. I need to enroll my kids in school. I need to get my spouse set up for a job. You know what I'm saying? They're about to come, or whatever the case may be. It's going to be hard for you to take it once you get there, because at that point, no one cares. They just know that you are there and it's time for you to work. Make sure that you do end process, because when you do end process, you take your ACFT, you know, you get updated on your med pros. They may even have you go through SRP. So make sure you end process. Granted, the end processing sometimes is like a week, 2 weeks, but it's worth it. So for like us, we have like what is called Spears integration. And that basically means that we end process. We go to, you know, get our files and stuff updated through S1. We go to SRP if we need to. We go to get our vision, our hearing. We take an ACFT. And so we also go to the range. And so when you go in process, like depending on what unit you are in, they will already have something set up for you. If not, and you go to your unit and you just in process like the basic stuff, then that's cool, but you still need to in process, because you will show up on those command and staff slides and it's going to be like, hey, chief, she needs to know ACFT. I'm not speaking for me, because when I went through Spears integration, I actually took an ACFT. Even though I had just took one in WOBC, my unit still wanted me to take one when I first got there, so we can all be on track. And I was okay with it. I didn't complain, because it's an ACFT, we all have to do it. So just go ahead and process, get your ACFT, your weapons, because on the back end, you're going to get so busy. They're going to be talking about, hey, you popped up on the ACFT list, or hey, you need to go to the range, and you're going to be upset because you're like, look, I got this to do, I got that to do, I don't got time for the range. And then next thing you know, you're going to be behind. You know, an ACFT is supposed to be taken every 6 months, and so you have to stay current even though you are a warrant officer. So just keep that in mind. Don't complain, just go get it done, okay? And then when I went to the range, they front loaded me because I was a warrant officer. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, because you do have soldiers out there looking, but when it was asked like, hey chief, you want to go ahead and shoot and qualify so you can go back, I wasn't going to say no. So yes, they front loaded me, and then I went back and I was done at the range by like 10:30. And so not saying that's a benefit, but if the opportunity presents itself and you want to do it, go ahead. If not, you can just go like, nope, I'll wait my turn. And if you want to be at the range all day, and you know, kumbaya or kudos to you, but I got front loaded. Make sure you meet and greet the staff and know what their requirements and expectations are. So let's just say you work at the brigade. If you work at the brigade, still go down to your battalions and see who everyone is. Know who the sergeant majors are. Know who the battalion commanders are. Go down to the lowest level, to the companies, and see who works and what slots and who is this and who's doing maintenance, because you have to communicate and you will need to have relationships with certain individuals. You might have a mobility warrant at the battalion, but you're a mobility warrant for the brigade. And so get down to the battalions, get down to those companies, meet the commanders, meet the first sergeants, meet the XOs, because a lot of things that we do throughout the day involves those people. And so make sure you do a meet and greet with the staff and know what their expectations and requirements are, especially if you work at the brigade, because you will be getting rated by your brigade commander, right? Okay, so this video is about being an APO, which is an accountable property officer, still known as a PBO. So make sure you do your changeover, right? So I got PBO changeover. When you first finish in processing and you get to your organization, if your replacement is there, it'll be even better. But if it is not, and you need to get an example of a PBO changeover, just let me know in the comments and I will send it to you. But when you go to WOBC, you will be included in so many groups, right, on teams. And so it's like a PBO alumni, it's like a quartermaster master team, it's like you're going to have your battalion or your brigade team that you're on. And so all of these documents will be available for you. So don't stress it, don't worry about it. If you're like, hey Battle, can you send me a PBO changeover? Or hey Battle, how did you do this? How was your PBO? Like, just ask for a PBO changeover if your replacement is already gone. And if they are, you can still reach out to them, email them, text them, call them and say, hey, can I get what you used? And then make sure you document your changeover on an MFR. What you did see, what you didn't see, make sure you sign it and then send it to your replacement. Your replacement may or may not your replacement, but whoever you replaced, if they are gone already, they may not want to sign it because they're like, well, hey, this is there. I know I did it. You know, they can refer you to where it is located if it's on a Teams channel or if it's filed in a cabinet somewhere. So make sure you reach out before you sign off on that MFR, because when you send it to them, they may not want to sign it. They're like, no, I know I did this. It's located X, Y, and Z. So make sure you do a proper changeover, use your checklist, and make sure you annotate your results on an MFR with the outgoing PBO. Email them the results because they may be able to give you updates and show you, like I just said, where things are located. Also, have the outgoing PBO help you set up your filters in DST. When I tell you DST is your bread and butter, you're going to be on DST every day, all day. The first thing that I do when I go to work is I log into Outlook, I log into Teams, and I log into DST and G-Army. Those will be the number one things that you need to make sure you have open at all times. And it would behoove you to get at least 2 monitors and have your laptop, because you're going to be back and forth with looking at different things in regards to like your daily tasks as far as like PBO maintenance and stuff like that, creating SDs basically for like lateral transfers and all of that. So make sure your outgoing PBO helps you with setting up your filters in DST and show you how to create your directive template. And your directive template will basically be, hey, if I have a PSD that will be going to R2E, it's going to have all of the R2E verbiage in there, and then at the bottom it's going to have your signature block and your battalion commander signature block or your brigade signature block. We cannot turn into DLA anymore. We have to turn into the SSA. And so even when you create PSDs, you need to have the verbiage on there that says this equipment will be 1020. It will be going to the SSA. The SSA will take care of turning it in. So make sure that the outgoing PBO, or if you have a PBO NCO, or if you don't, you can just reach out to somebody and they can share your screen or share their screen on Teams and show you how to do that directive template that is set up in DST, because you will need that when time for you to create lateral transfers. Okay, being able to match lateral transfers and PSDs is like a whole nother thing, but just I'm going over the basics of what you will need. If there's any questions, like I said, just let me know. And again, I will be doing a part 2, and so I will capture some things and maybe make a separate video on how to do certain things within DST. But the important thing that you need to have for right now is making sure you have your filter set up and your directive template set up. You can use UDV. It's just like so much that you can do within DST, and so I'm not going to speak on that. I may do a separate video. Also, have the outgoing go over a battle rhythm with you. For example, on Mondays, we are updating our PSD tracker in the top 5 huddle slides. On Tuesdays, we are having our supply syncs, and you will be involved because you're the PBO and you have to deal with lateral transfers and stuff. Sometimes the S4 is or is not available. For my unit, our S4 is not available. They went TDY. They will be gone for like 6 months to help out with another task. And so sometimes you will have to like do certain things that you expected not to do because you're the PBO. Just be able to stay in your own lane as far as like being an NCO, because you are not an NCO anymore. And what I mean by that is if you have a sergeant major come to you asking you about 92 Yankee moves, or if you have somebody asking you like, well, hey, the only time you need to really speak on that is when it pertains to you getting a PBO NCO and you feel like based off of what you have seen and how the 92 Yankees work, which one should come be your replacement PBO NCO. But other than that, mind your business. Don't be an NCO. And I know it's easy to say that, and it's really, really hard because that is something that I actively work on. But just try to stay in your lane. When soldiers come in talking about DTS and GPC and GTC, mind your business. You don't know nothing about that. You ain't got nothing to do with that. If someone is trying to in process, out process, mind your business. Just be like, hey, the S4 or the OIC stepped out for lunch. They will be back at this time, and then keep it moving, because you're going to get so busy that you will forget about the task that you have because you're trying to do other things that don't involve what a PBO should be doing. Make sure you have a battle rhythm. That's what I was talking about, a battle rhythm, so you can know what to do throughout the week. Going to the SSA at least once a week, having your supply syncs and all of that. So make sure you have a battle rhythm, and the battle rhythm may change. You may have to go to maintenance meetings, maybe you didn't have to go to maintenance meetings, but now you do. It just depends. So make sure you have a good battle rhythm set up, and then again, it may change. Show and teach your NCO your expectations and the things that you need from them, and then make sure you have a signed SOP from your battalion commander or your brigade commander on how things need to be done. That way every company will be on the same page. You do not want a 92 to come in there and be like, well, yeah, chief, can you do this for me? Or hey, chief, blah, 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 blah. Or you be like, hey, I got it, I'll do it, and then I'll send you a posted copy. Have your SOP set up so you won't have to do that, because it can be time consuming and overwhelming when you have to stop and fix an AAR or kick back an AAR and send back multiple emails because the emails, because the AAR or the documents, FOIs or whatever the case, are not done correctly. So make sure you are updating your SOP. The new regulations have just came out. 710-4 came out, I think, January and March timeframe. 735-5, a new version of that just came out. Even the 710-2s just came out. So y'all make sure y'all stay current on y'all regulations. And so that is the next topic, because we're almost done, y'all. Again, I have 2 more subjects, and so the next one will be regulations. Read them. If you don't understand what something says, because everything is in black and white, and we always take what we read and make it what we want it to be, because we're just thinking about how to help us in a certain type of way, and you don't understand, ask your mentor or reach out in your WOBC group chat, because somebody in that group chat will know, and I'm pretty sure one of those instructors will be on that group chat. Like our mentor in our group chat is Chief Sears, CW Greg Sears, and so I'm pretty sure you're going to hear so many things about him, Mr. Garrett, and there's so many other people, Chief Jackson. It's a lot of people that you can reach out to, but try to find the answer yourself, because what I have noticed is, even not in our WOBC group chat, because everybody is pretty much going through the same thing, but if you reach out to like a senior, or if you reach out to like another warrant that's not in your unit, they gonna want to give you the information and tell you the answer, but then they're gonna talk about you later. Even though we are warrant officers, we're human, right? So everybody knows everybody. The community is small. What I will recommend is don't talk about nobody, because at the end of the day, we will run into each other, whether it's we're conducting a ladder transfer, whether we're doing training as far as like ROTC, if we're going on deployment together. So the community of warrant officers, regardless of what warrant officer MOS you are, is small. So everybody knows everybody. So in regards to knowing your regulations, if you don't understand, reach out to somebody who you know will be able to provide you positive feedback, who won't talk about, well, how come she don't know this and how come they don't know this. So my mentor is CW3 Christopher Roberts. I call him all the time, and Chief Hayes, I call her, but I try not to call her too much. But it would be like small things. For example, a guidon that got turned in as a historical item, or a historical piece of equipment got turned in, and the civilians do not have G Army. And so I already know that I don't supposed to do an asset decrease. I know that they supposed to be able to receive on their end and send me back a posted copy. But when I asked about it, they said, hey, we don't have G Army, but we did provide you a signed copy because we do have your guidon. We received it. And so I'm looking like, how can I post to an external RIC or an external UIC, because that tab is available in G Army, but it was not. It was like, you don't have the authorization. Even when I went into ZAMW to see who had access to G Army based off of that UIC, it was like 2 people. I reached out to them, they never responded. And so at this point, I'm like, I know this is not the right thing to do. Let me ask. And I do that a lot. I always ask things for reassurance. I'm not doing it no more. I'm just gonna go with the flow and let it bite me in my tail, because what you will find is that if you are at the battalion, your senior might be like, what do you mean? This already came out. Or how do you not know how to post a guideline? How do you, like, and then you'll start looking like, well, I know, because at this point, I've been a warrant officer, being a PBO for 24 months, 2 years. You don't think I know how to do this? I'm asking you for reassurance. Don't do it. Just do it. And then on the back end, if somebody say, hey, how come you did this? Because I exhausted all means possible to get this guideline off the books. I reached out to the unit. They said they don't have G Army. I looked to see if somebody somebody had G-Army access. I emailed them, no response. So at this point, I have to do an asset decrease. Make sure you type up an MFR and attach it to your AAR that you did the asset decrease for. So provide examples of documents. So even though you are or have them in your SOP, still provide them, hang them on your wall, have them by your desk, have them in a binder for continuity. And when the soldiers come in and ask you, hey chief, how do I do this? You will have the example and you can tell them like, hey, make an example, and you know, that way you can have it for the future. That way you won't have to show them how to do it every single time, because there are going to be multiple 92 Yankees asking you, chief, and you're going to say, I have examples right here in my binder, even though I have the examples in my SOP. I'm telling you, that's exactly how it's going to be. Have your S4 assist. Everyone in the office should be on the same page. For example, E-Flipple, right? And so for me, again, I'm trying to be a warrant officer. I'm the PBO. So if the S4 OIC or the S4 NCO is not in the office, I'm going to say, hey chief, I tried to reach out to such and such. They didn't answer. I text, I email. It's been 2 days. How do I go about doing this flipple? And me, I would be like, well, you got to make sure you have all your supporting documents to include your bombs, your statement of charges. Go ahead and initiate the flipple, and then whenever you finish the flipple, just go back and change the initiation date. The S4 will be like, nah, don't do that. In my head, I'm just like, they are doing a change of command flip. You know how long it's going to take them to do that? But you want them to wait until the day before they get ready to sign the books? Why can't they just go back and change the date? And the S4 will be like, well, oh, because everybody can see when they initiated. Everybody is asking the status of it, and And then a lot of things have changed with eFlipple too. So just make sure you're on the same page. Like the timelines changed and all of that stuff changed. So just make sure everybody in the office is on the same page. And so for another example is if the S4, OIC, or NCO is not in the office and a soldier come in and they are talking about DTS going TDY or something like that, make sure you let your S4, OIC know like, hey, I know I have reviewer roles in DTS, but my main priority is PBO maintenance, making sure I'm assistant. Because when I tell you, if you are not busy every day as a PBO, something is wrong. Or as an APO, something is wrong. When I go to work every single day, I have something to do every single day. So if you are sitting there in your chair, surfing on your phone, or going to lunch early and coming back early, or going to the gym, and something is wrong, you ain't doing something. How many UICs you got? You got at least 5 to 8 or 10 UICs. So you should be doing property book maintenance. You have PSDs that need to be created. That's in vet and open, which means you gotta look at turn-in packets. And I don't even really look at the turn-in packets. I have my maintenance warrant look at the turn-in packets because I'm just creating a PSD. A lot of things you will start to learn what works for you as you go along in regards to being a warrant officer, right? And then last but not least, TDY and set development. Visit your unit if you have a unit in a different location. Instead of always asking your unit to send you things, I need this, I need that, how come you didn't turn this in, how come your hand receipts are late, how come this, and boop, 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 I need you to do an AR for this, I need you to, and you are always emailing them and phone calling them and sending them a message on Teams asking for something, go see them, go visit them, ask them what help do they need, go do a SAP visit, go do an inspection, go see what they lack in, you know, because you're always asking and demanding something via email and phone, and it's just like, when you gonna come visit us? How come we can't go to lunch together? How come you always asking for X, Y, and Z? But like, come on, chief, like what's going on? Like, I'm tired of you always asking for stuff. Go visit your unit. They will really care about the fact that you are there coming to visit them. Go have lunch. It don't even have to be about work. Just let your because usually the S4, OIC, and NCO are the ones in regards to like DTS and stuff like that. And so for me, when I go to UI, I just communicate that like, hey, I need to go visit my unit. They're having problems with this. They struggle with this. I would rather be hands-on and show them. So moving forward, they would know how to do that. So if you have a unit that's located outside of your installation, make sure you take the time to go TDY to assist them. Also, career progression. Go to military classes. I'm going to USR at the end of August, and so I'm going to USR. I'm going to the G-Army Middle Managers course. Get some certifications and make sure you continue going to college. And last but not least, appearance means a lot. Attend warrant lunches, attend WOPD, and attend PD if you are having PT on your installation with other warrant officers. Like for example, at Fort Bragg, they have coffee every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I haven't been able to go to one at 7 o'clock because I'm doing so many other things. I don't understand why they do it at 7 o'clock, but hey, if they want to and it works for everyone else to show up, then try to make it to the coffees. I can't never make it to the coffees on Tuesdays because I have other things going on, like in regards to like my battle rhythm, but I will try to make sure I go to the WOPT, or if they having like warrant lunches and stuff like that, I try to make sure I go. You won't be able to go every single time, but try to like involve yourself with certain things that they have throughout the warrant community, because again, the community is so small. Everybody knows everybody, and if they don't know you, like by knowing your like physicals, knowing what you look like and all that stuff, they have heard your name a few times. And so that was pretty much it for today's video. I hope this helped. I hope you are ready and prepared to become an APO, taking over those roles and being able to know what you need to do to be successful. And if you do not, just make sure you comment down below, because there are so many mentors that is out there that is willing to show you and teach you if you do not understand something. And then this is a big difference from being an actual S4 or unit supply sergeant in a supply room. It's completely different. Of course, we're in G Army, but the number one thing that you need to make sure that you do is find a mentor. Don't talk about nobody, and just try to get what you can get done without stressing about it. Make sure you have some priorities, because your family will still be a priority. Make sure you are still focusing on your career, because career progression is a thing. You know, you have to set yourself aside from your peers. And that was pretty much it for today's video. I will be back for a part 2. Make sure you share this video with any other APOs or /PBOs who is in WOBC and are about to go to their first duty station. And if y'all have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. You can send me an email on my Outlook at amelia.d.fullwood.mil@army.mil. However you need to reach me via Instagram or whatever the case, make sure you hit me up and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Until next time, my name is Amelia. Peace.